You're watching JaxBlade's month of Halloween. Let's get some shit out of some psychopaths. Groovy.
I told your Simple Simon ass stay away from here.
Yo dudes and dudettes, your fellow neighbor JaxBlade is back, and today we are back with another month of Halloween. And yes, I am finally happy to get started with this again because I love doing these. The last 6 years we've been doing these, and today we're going to be talking about how you can develop the strength to handle a monster if you were ever in that situation, God forbid, so you can develop it. But did you know that there are different types of strength? Let's get them gains. Ha! It's Jax with Science Facts. Nerd time! Alright, let's get to it. So for this October, I think it's fitting that I talk about the best types of strength that would benefit you the most in a horror situation, or just for your everyday life, or just if you're just trying to get fit and stronger and you want to know a better way to go about training, then this is what you can do for yourself. Because, as I've talked about before, there are many different types of strength. But I'm going to be talking about these 4 main ones today and how they can benefit you the most. And if you are strong in one of these, no one can call you weak anywhere. I want to make that perfectly clear, because there are sometimes we see individuals who are extremely strong in one area, but they're not necessarily the strongest in the other area, and sometimes they'll like call each other weak, but it makes absolutely no sense when it's just like, look, they're super strong here, and you can't do that, and this and that, and so like, this is just silly. And don't worry, I'll make this super easy to understand and not needlessly complicated so that you can just go, oh, I understand that little concept right there, because I think that's the best way to learn, and don't worry, it's not going to be like super hard or anything like that. But let's get to it so you can save your life and train for certain things, because there are 4 main types of strength, and those are absolute, relative, explosive, and strength endurance. Now, why are each of these important? Well, let's discuss right now. Alright, first things first, we're going to talk about absolute strength. And that is pretty much how heavy are the dumbbells you lift. Always got to throw that in there. But it's pretty much your raw strength. The amount you can lift, like how much you can lift, like how heavy you can lift. Like that is legitimately what it is. Now, this is typically going to be weights lifted are going to be higher than your body weight amount. So that's why you have like a lot of strong men, like think of the mountain, or like, you know, there's so many great ones out there who just like lift insane amounts of weight that are way heavier than themselves, and they're just these big, massive, strong people. Like that is what this does. And this is also really great because if you're in situations where you need to carry something super heavy out of the way, like you're the one to just go, all right, I lift all the time. I can do this. I can lift this up right out the way. Now you can get super strong doing this by I recommend doing strongman, because strongman is very great at helping you to build like strength for lifting heavy, awkward objects, and so like you're able to do more stuff. So like for instance, if you have to lift a laundry machine or something like that, like a washing machine, then it'd be easier if you've been doing strongman work, not necessarily bodybuilding. Now, there's a common misconception that bodybuilders are weak, and that's because they primarily train for aesthetics, but that's not necessarily the case. You can most definitely get strong doing bodybuilding because all you're doing is resistance training. Depending on how you train, you can build up a substantial amount of strength doing that. Just look at the bodybuilders in the 70s who are also like lifting insane amount of weights because they were doing more power building stuff. So yes, if you do bodybuilding, powerlifting, strongman, this is what's going to help increase your raw strength so that you can lift way more than how much you naturally weigh. And that is important because you can carry things. If you're being chased, it's like, oh God, I got to carry this heavy ass thing. Save us. All right, I'm getting out the way. Or you can body slam the person chasing. You're like, all right, you know what? Let's do this. And then you freaking rush and then throw them. But like, again, that is a sacrifice move if you are trying yourself, because you do not want to do that to someone like Jason or any of the monsters in this list. All right, I'm telling you right now, all right, that is a last ditch effort, but having that increased raw strength is the best way to do it. And again, like I recommend doing like, you know, either standard weight training and then gradually building up your maximum amount of strength at how much you can lift, because that is what's going to help you get the most absolute strength for yourself. So remember, that is what that is. Absolute strength is just pretty much how heavy you can lift, and if you can lift more than your body weight, that's even better. Now, next up, let's talk about one of my personal favorites, and that is relative strength. Now, relative strength is how much strength you have relative to your body weight. So, for example, there are a lot of like weightlifters who lift around their same weight. Like, for instance, if you are a weightlifter and you're like 135 and you lift 135 or around 135 or heavier than 135, then you have like good relative strength. It's how much you can do relative to your body weight. Matter of fact, one of the best ways to train your relative strength is just to see how many pull-ups you can do. So, for example, if you can do like 1 chin up, that's good. that's good. But like if you can do like a ton of them for like reps and reps and reps, and then you're going at it. You're doing your pull-ups, and these are just super easy to you, then that means you have solid relative strength for yourself. Like that is a good way to test it, just seeing how many pull-ups you can do for yourself. So this is why it is super, super great for people who do gymnastics and calisthenics and stuff like that. So people who do like handstand push-ups like for reps, and then like, you know, do like human flags, or like can climb trees, do a bunch of functional stuff like climb rocks. They have superb control of their bodies, like that beautiful masterpiece. That is what it means to have strong relative strength. Now that's not all it means, but it just is like primarily like if you're super strong in calisthenics, you pretty much have really great relative strength for yourself. And it's really cool because you can like get super strong here and do like various very cool things that I've talked about before, like with all the cool things that you can do with calisthenics. But again, it's why I had an issue with that show Strength Wars when it came out, because they would have people who have a ton of absolute strength where they'd be like very strong at like weight training, but then if they were doing a versus match of a weightlifter versus a calisthenic person, it'd be like, oh, the calisthenic person is losing at these weight training challenges, where it's like, no duh, like have the weight trainer try to do like handstand push-ups like they're doing, or like freaking flags, or how many dips they can do and stuff like that. Like that is relative strength and just like various things of strength. So be sure to test it. And this is again very important because it's like great for functional stuff, like I mentioned before. Like the amount of pull-ups you can do is it save your life. If you can do a lot of pull-ups, it can actually save your life in certain situations. If you can climb a tree, that is like, so many people underestimate how much of a challenge it is to climb a tree. Like if you're like I said, I need to climb a tree, then that is actually very good relative strength on your part. Some people can't do that. Like it's surprising how many people can't do that. And then also being able to do like muscle ups or various things like that, or like, you know, climb rocks, or do a lot of functional stuff. A lot of the words functional come from having a lot of strong relative strength. And that's great because you might have to get out of a situation. What if you have to control your body to get out of a situation, like, oh God, I gotta walk on my hands through this area because there's nothing below me. Oh my God, I have to like freaking climb this tree and get out of here because there's no other way out besides me climbing this wall and doing this stuff. So that is why relative strength is super important and important to train, and that's why I always talk about like training it. But you can also have like strong absolute strength, strong relative strength. It all depends on how you train, and that's why I'm here. That's why I'm here to help you. All right, it's important so you can get away from those monsters and get super strong. Following that is one of my personal specialties, explosive strength. Now explosive strength is pretty much how it sounds, how fast you can burst, how much explosive power you can generate and go for. So this is really great for if you're sprinting. So for example, if you're like a sprinter and you have to boost and dash, like you have really great explosive strength, because not many people know this. Sprinting is an anaerobic exercise because it's not fast enough to use oxygen during the movement. So it's really great in building muscles in your legs. Like, that's why some of my legs are super jacked like that. But it's also really great for punching power, which is phenomenal. As I talked about before, punching power is just so great. Like if you have a high punching PSI, like this is one of those situations where, you know, some people, I've seen arguments between people like who's stronger, so-and-so or so-and-so, and then there's someone who can bench press like 400 pounds or something like that, and then there's someone who can like punch like with a PSI of like 1,000, 1,200, some insane high number on the PSI punching, just some insane high punching power. Just think of that scene from Dragon Ball Z where they're punching the machine and it just like blows up. Like people who can punch that insanely hard, and it's just like, you know, there are some boxers who are like featherweights who can hit like insanely hard, but they can't bench press like 225. But then there are some like freaking bodybuilders, because they have different sorts of training for themselves, where they can just lift insane amounts of weight, but like when it comes to like punching really hard, they didn't train for it specifically, so their punches are going to be lower than that. And that's just something I think is really cool, because it's like, it's pretty much hiding your power level in real life. Like, if you have very high explosive strength, then you can like surprise someone, because they'd be like, oh, I think this guy's like tiny, and then like they lay on you and it's just like, damn, I did not think they would hit like that. So that's a cool thing. Also works with your legs too, where you have that strong kicking strength. And then of course it helps with your jumping ability, as I've talked about before. So we have very strong legs, then you can, like, you know, boost yourself up situations. That's great for horror situations because you can explosively get out of there. I need to jump over this. I need to climb this. I need to get out of here. If I have to fight, boom, it's got a lot of energy. So explosive is pretty sexy for keeping you safe in these horror situations. So make sure you train all of these together. They're all going to make a perfect product in the end. Mwah, chef's kiss. But yeah, that is the thing about it. Like, it will help you punch harder, jump higher, run faster, just get out of there faster. Now, again, endurance, watch this video right here where I talk about like how important it is to train other stuff in endurance, but we're actually about to go to strength endurance right now. But yes, explosive power, explosive strength, very important. Like I've talked about before, you can do plyometrics. As a matter of fact, I have tons of videos on this YouTube channel specifically designed to help you build up explosive strength. So just go through my Tough Like Tunes playlist. You'll find quite a few of them. So just putting that out there for people who are very interested. Then we have strength endurance. How long can you use your strength for? All right. So like, that's like, oh, I'm carrying my kid on my back. I can walk this area and back with my kid on my back and it's completely fine. As a matter of fact, here's a little fun fact that not a lot of people know of. If you have a backpack and you're walking with it and it has like moderately heavy, that is a form of strength and endurance training, just very, very minimally. It's not like massively doing stuff, but it's how long you can use your strength for long periods of time. So for example, if you're riding a bike, like, people don't realize this, riding a bike is resistance training as well as in addition to cardio, because like, depending if you're going uphill, depending on like the resistance you're using on the bike, you have to keep going for long periods of time. And how long can you go with that thing? And that's great, because if you need your strength resistance, like, oh my God, this creature's coming at me, what do? I have to keep going forward and forward. If I'm carrying someone on my back, do I have to like carry medical supplies with me? Do I have to carry weapons with me? You know, you gotta think about all that stuff in those situations. So that's why it's gonna be super, super helpful to train your strength and endurance. And then like, of course, like, if you have supreme muscular endurance, like you can do 100 push-ups straight, you can do 100 pull-ups or something like that, insane. Like, having that muscular endurance, which I've talked about in depth in my Rock Lee with that workout, just does numerous benefits for the body and also helps increase your energy, like I am right here, because people always think, oh, I'm a spaz, but it's just because I have a lot of strength, endurance, and explosive energy. But yeah, it's super, super great for that. Also, to make it super easy to understand, think of farmers, all right? So farmers have to carry like heavy, awkward objects there and back for long periods of time. Like, you know, they have to do all their work stuff. So they have a lot of strength endurance depending on like what they're doing that day. So they're able to carry stuff for long distances, but also maintain that strength for long periods of time. So that is what strength endurance is. There's like a deeper method to all of these that I could have talked about, but I like making this like super easy to understand and comprehend to the average person. But yeah, that is important. All four of these would save you in the month of Halloween, where you have to freaking get away from these monsters so that you can maintain all that stuff, so you can like get out of there, or you can fight back and not be a helpless victim. Because on my channel, we are the monsters, all right? We are the ones that they should fear, all right? That is how I like to train. That is how I like to get people hyped up and motivated for it, so you don't forget that. And again, remember, like I always say, if you've mastered one of these, then you are not weak by any regard. If someone says like, oh, you can't lift, but you can punch, then you are not weak. If someone says, oh, you can't do a handstand push-up, but you can bench press like 10,000 pounds, you are not weak at all. If you can freaking carry someone from point A to point B when someone gives up after like, you know, 3 minutes, then you are not weak. I want to make that perfectly clear. Strong people lift people up, they don't put them down. So do not think you are weak if you have mastered any of these. And remember, you can always work on all of them. Just be more specific if you have like a specific goal for yourself. And down in the comments section below, tell me what type of strength is the one you want to go for. Also, if you made it this far in the video, type boo motherfucker down below, because you're not going to be the victim, you're going to be the monster in this situation. And also, in addition to that, tell me what type of strength is the one you want to go for yourself, or which one you are primarily adept at right now and what you want to get better at. I love to get a discussion going on this, and I love talking about it, and I love these month of Halloween videos because this is always something I super enjoy, and I super enjoy just going outside the box for talking about this. But you can expect a lot of stuff. So Michael Myers, Chucky, Jason, stuff like that this month. I won't spoil too many of them. If you follow me on my Patreon, you can see all the stuff that's coming in advance. So there's a link down below, but I just wanted to let y'all know that. Also, I got a ton of programs down below if you're interested in getting stronger in any of these, so that you can build up that strength for yourself in various regards. But remember, like I always say, keep calm and booyah on. I love doing that every time of year. And don't forget, Momentai. Hope you have a great one, and hope you enjoy these next few videos. Booyah.